Welcome to Albany. Welcome back to Albany. I want to thank all members of the media who are here. I want to thank my colleagues from the Senate Republican Conference who are here. I also want to thank Richard Ellenbogen and Wayne Stritzman who are joining us today. These are two gentlemen who do not hold elected office, but who are here to talk about, from their perspective, from an employer perspective, from a financial perspective, why the energy policies coming from the governor and our colleagues across the aisle, why they are so disastrous for New Yorkers, for working New Yorkers, for the men and women of labor, as well as for anyone who pays utility bills here in New York. There was just a poll that I saw release the results from Siena that had affordability as one of the top issues on New Yorkers' minds. That term gets tossed around a lot. I've heard the governor talk about affordability. We have to make New York more affordable. And she's 100% right, and this conference agrees 100% that we have to make New York more affordable. However, that's sadly where the consensus ends, because what she proposes would not make New York more affordable. It will make New York more expensive. It will make living here more expensive. Heating your home will be more expensive. Retrofitting your home to make it all electric will cost New Yorkers between $25,000 and $50,000 per home, depending on the home. Cap and tax. I know they like to call it cap and invest. I just call it what it is. Cap and tax will be an additional tax on companies and employers here in the state of New York that they do not face in Pennsylvania, Ohio, and many other states around the country. That will chase jobs out of New York, will chase those employers out of New York. It'll make their costs go up. And I could go on and on. Her energy policies, the governor and my colleagues across the aisle, their energy proposals do not make New York more affordable. They do not make it more affordable to be in New York. In fact, it'll be more expensive, and our energy supply will be less reliable. At a time when our economy remains unstable and businesses and families continue to flee the state, the governor has offered to put an outright ban on affordable, reliable energy such as natural gas. She wants to electrify all new buildings. We talked about cap and tax, and of course the public renewables proposal, which you're going to hear Senator Walczak talked about. He debated this on the floor last week. That would give the state, in this case the New York Power Authority, complete oversight over every aspect of these types of projects. If there is one that Albany bureaucrats have, if there's one thing they've proved time and time again, it's they cannot do anything more efficiently and effectively than our private sector. I am very, very concerned about this proposal, as is our conference. You're going to hear from Senator Walczak about that. These policies go on from our colleagues and from our governor, and our conference remains steadfastly opposed to them and offers, I think, common sense alternatives, not only to make our environment cleaner, but also our energy supply more diverse. We need to have a diversified energy portfolio. That is the only common sense, real, serious proposal. There are no bad forms of energy. I was reminded about, I think it was the governor of Oklahoma several years ago during an ice storm, just like the ice storm that we saw sweep across the country in New York, I think it was last week. And we're due for another one. When you're in the middle of a crisis, of a storm, there is no bad form of energy. You want every form of energy available to you. That's what a strong state does. That's what a strong country does. We seem to be going in the other direction, but this conference, again, remains opposed and offers alternatives, supporting, again, diverse energy sources, keeping needed power supply online to ensure reliability of our grid, repealing and opposing anti-market mandates on consumers. And of course, independent cost studies and full transparency. Throughout a lot of the discussions around the CLCPA, around the natural gas ban, no one, including the governor, has been able to really offer up how much it's going to cost and who pays for it. Now, we know who's going to pay for it. It's going to be you and I. It's going to be ratepayers. It's going to be employers. It's going to be employees. That's who's going to pay for it. There's no secret sauce to this. There's no silver bullet. And I think as New Yorkers, we deserve to know who and how much. And Governor Hochul and her allies in the Democratic Senate Conference have been unwilling to offer up any information on that front. And this conference continues to call for that. And I think New Yorkers deserve to know how much it's going to cost them. How much more unaffordable are we going to make New York State to institute these policies that I would tell you are going to have little to no impact on climate change? New York State accounts for 0.04% of emissions, global emissions, 0.04%. Do we really think that we're going to change the global climate from right here in New York? No, we're not. What we are going to do is cause real and permanent damage to our economy, to our energy supply, reliability, and we're going to drive more people out of this state with no real benefit.